Peter Diamandis has a great show called Moonshots, and him and Salim, which is one of the co-hosts, I got about 10 minutes into the show, and they were getting into how organizations are designed for hierarchy. And with agentic AI, the organizational structure has to shift at a very fundamental level. And it's moving from hierarchy to intelligence, because it's like, who's in charge of this? Who's the expert on this? And then there's got to be a hierarchy and all this. And now we got to have a meeting. And they were one of the things they were getting into, which is part of what I put into, you and I have been talking off podcast about running audits for companies and stuff like that. One of the things that to look for in a company is how much time and energy is spent in coordination. And if you're running an AI agentic forward business, one of the things you'll notice first is coordination costs go way down. And I looked into a company recently and I got access to everything that's going on. And I was able to get into the project management software and was able to scrape enough data to realize that the team was spending more than 40 hours a week total in just coordination. Within a few weeks of implementing AI, would say 40 hours a week, 160 hours. What's the hourly wage on that? And there's a company that could use several more $1,000s in their pockets every month, right? So that's just one example of it's going to fundamentally shape businesses in a different way, in a way that I can't imagine right now. You go, an organization with a hierarchy. And I've also seen some people put together some like mission control, like you log into your dashboard, pretty advanced stuff. And then they have like their CMO and CEO and COO, and then it trickles down and there's a hierarchy amongst the agents. I've also witnessed some other people put together some agentic teams where there wasn't really a hierarchy. There's like one agent that was there for coordination, but it wasn't necessarily the boss. It was more like coordinating the workflow. He created it. Most AI works where, say there's 20 agents working on a project and say 19 of them are feeding information to the coordinator, and then its whole job is to make sure that everyone's doing the right thing. But now what some engineers are doing is they have the agents just talking to each other. There's still an orchestrator, there's still a coordinator, but they can work stuff out here and loop the coordinator in every once in a while. And what we're seeing is move a lot faster. So so that's just an example of like humans do kind of work in that way. But in the human world, there's all this even unspoken hierarchy stuff happening.
Framing.
Yeah, like I have like a men's group where there's no leader, and months of the men's group meeting up, and it's all really super solid dudes that are all brilliant at whatever it is they do in the world. And 8 of us get together, and one guy says, "Come to my house," and then we get together, and everyone kind of steps in and does their thing. But over time, you start noticing there's like a leader. There's certain people that hold leadership roles for specific things, and some things start emerging naturally. I think that happens in any organization where humans are involved but with AI agents, you kind of remove that thing that's there. And I think that you have to reinforce that in a human organization and codify it, but it's not going to be codified. It would be artificially codified into an artificial intelligence. Now we're going meta here. But yeah, it's going to fundamentally change things in a way that I don't think we can even imagine right now.
I mean, I see it as like, the way you explain it and describe it, it's almost like a panel discussion and there's just a moderator, right? The moderator's just moderating the discussion and the group as a whole comes to a conclusion.
But there's a mission.
Right. Like, there's an objective at play.
Yeah.
And they'll discuss the different ways to do it. And when you see the different leaderships, I could see the leadership roles emerging based off of where in the process that they are. Hey, this person, like using some of the skills you've shared here on the podcast, an example, if you have the CMO skill, but you have the voice skill, it's when it comes to, okay, we got to write this, the voice skill's probably going to take the leadership in that discussion of how we write it. And then, okay, let's present it. Now, the CMO skill is going to be like, well, this is how we want to present it. And the designer is going to have input. There's more of a cohesive approach to it, which a lot of things are just going to be reworked in how we approach work, interactions with each other. But seeing the AI take liberties on its own, that's what's interesting to me, right? You mentioned having to go back to principles thinking, and should we even be doing it this way anymore? I think I used the example of a friend of mine. He's a design engineer for a company where he builds out interfaces and the designs for wireless routers. And they had an AI design it, and it was like chicken scratch to them. Like, it didn't show any fundamentals of how they do it. But AI is like, yeah, this is more efficient. They didn't understand it because there was a whole different approach to it. So when companies start adopting this on an executive level, the speed of decisions, the speed of implementation, the speed of execution, the speed of experimentation must go down in expenses drastically, because now you have the ability to play and explore ideas at such a rapid rate and test things out.
Yeah, I have a researcher agent who his job is to go research different things on different days at different times and bring back reports and collect all that. I'm going to bring up this, there's a post on X by Zeb Evans, who's he's the CEO of ClickUp, which is just a fantastic software for project management on steroids. And some of the points he gets into is it's a software company, and so they have an engineering team, but then everyone starts using AI, but then 10% of the engineers start to pull away, and you realize that everybody using AI is not actually efficient. They're stepping on each other's toes. You only need 10% of the engineers. So what he did was, he reduced the total team by 20% or 22%. And he started giving the top 10% of the engineers really big payroll, like $1 million a year payroll, which is pretty wild. And so if you're really good at using AI, like your value has just skyrocketed. And then he talks about product managers and how their role is changing, how design, like basically he lists off all the not all the roles, but a lot of the roles that would exist on an engineering team, and how things would normally pass through this person before it got to this person, but everything's getting flipped in reverse, or things are being skipped over, or somebody who's typically a project manager now needs to have this other skill, the ability to review and do this other skill as well. The org chart is going under a transformation, and it's going under a transformation right now for that company. It's going under a transformation for a lot of companies who are AI forward. I think that's what it's going to take, is you got to be willing to reorganize the organization. I just wrote a blog I put up today. In fact, what I'm realizing, you look at the CEO of ClickUp, and the thing that sets him apart is he's using AI himself, so he knows what to do. I was talking to a friend last night, frustrated that someone on his team, his assistant, wasn't using AI. He's like, I know that my assistant could be using AI to do this thing. I go, yeah, well, how are you using AI? He goes, So there you go. Like, I don't have an assistant right now.
Yeah.
And like, first off, if you want people on your team to do it, you have to be using it. You need to actually be engaged in improving your use of it from week to week, so you understand what's even possible to even wrap your head around it. Because I don't think it's something you can just read about or listen to podcasts about. You actually have to get your hands dirty a bit to wrap your head around what it even means. Even right now, me trying to describe it, I can go listen to a bunch of podcasts from some of the smartest people. They describe it. I love listening to it. It gives me ideas, but it doesn't really land until I go apply it.
That's it for today's Stack, but we aren't done stacking. Join the school community to be amongst other entrepreneurs who are building their most effective stack and learning to implement AI more effectively than anyone else in the world. We'd love to see you in there. And for more content, be sure to check out one of these videos, and you can even hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can get alerted of every new episode that drops week in and week out. That's it for today. We'll catch you guys in the next one.